What is up, guys? What is going on? Welcome to another episode of Unplugged EV Australia. I got it right this time. Yeah, we've got 38 degrees. It's brutal. It is brutal. Oh, we are spending most time of the day on this Sunday in the pool, of course. My whiteboard is full, but that's not the matter of concern today. I'll do a test now. Of course I do. I'll tell you in the car. So I finished charging the car last night at about 2 AM or so. And which side do you prefer? Do you want to go this way here again? This is a little bouncy. I need to spend more money on these camera mounts, really. Okay, I'll just do a short drive. So the car has fully charged. Let me turn it on. I'm sweating. Oh. And we can see the battery temperature as well. Start live data. So we have 37 degrees here in the carport in my studio. I'll just turn the climate off. And car is fully charged. It's nice. Battery temperature is 30-31. So it's not too hot. Ah, I tell you. Focus, yes, there we go. Okay, I just want to go for a short drive. We are basically simulating. Okay, I'm switching to the GoPro now. All right. So what I would like to do today is I would simulate the drive to work and then park the car. So I'm going for a short couple of kilometers drive and come back and leave the car here for my usual parking time of about 2 hours, and to provoke this loss of energy while parking, because I want it to happen today. Guess what? I'm not wearing a seatbelt, and the car somehow knows that. Amazing. And there we go, back home. That was a 7.1 kilometer 7.1 kilometer trip, and we have burned through 5.7 ampere hours, and this was in normal mode, not in eco mode. But all this doesn't matter as long as we drive after a full charge and give the car a rest now. Then we should see something on the 12 volt battery. Or maybe not. Either or. So we are at 84.4, 28.6. Yeah, 34 degrees and just under 4 volts. So everything is fine. Okay, hook up the ampere or the voltmeter now. So let me just show you what I've done. I basically replaced the battery inside the multimeter with a power adapter. So I can... Oh, that's a European plug. Okay, basically I can run the ampere meter now from the power adapter and don't need to worry about the battery anymore. And then I discovered actually here the max and min button, which only shows you the maximum or minimum voltage or amperes or whatever you set it to. So this will give us an indication if the battery actually gets charged. So my crocodile cables. Okay, so we have 13.058 volts. And I'm turning on the... See, and it's rising. It's rising right now. Why is it rising? data hold max. So this will only show us the maximum voltage. If the voltage goes down, it will still show the maximum it has reached so far. It is still rising. It shouldn't rise at all, because we know the car uses about 45 milliamps on standby. So this is just a very tiny load on the battery, but it should be still enough to lower the voltage constantly. But this one is still raising. So it looks like something is charging the battery right now. It should not go up. Just for a further test, I'll open the door to turn on the ambient light, and we see what's going on with the... Okay. So interior light is on. As you can see, the voltage is dropping down now, but it still shows us the 13.087 as a max voltage. So let's see if we exceed this voltage again once the light turns off. This would then actually mean the battery gets charged somehow, because the voltage is rising. Maybe I don't need to wait. I don't need to wait that long actually. I need a second multimeter as an ampere meter in the back, because I need to measure the voltage at the same time as I measure the amperes to the battery. Hasn't changed yet. Okay, I'll report back in a couple of minutes. Interesting stuff. Sorry for the no shirt show. It's just too hot. The other day when I measured the battery voltage while I was at work, I left here after fully charging in the morning, and the battery had 12.8 volts. I came to work and measured the battery again, so 50 minutes of driving, and the battery had only 12.85 volts, so 50 millivolts more while I was driving to work. And I thought, this is quite unusual. It should have more, because it charges the battery while driving. And then an hour later at 9:10 I had already 12.97 volt in there, so 120 millivolt more while parking in the first hour after the first drive. 11 o'clock, 12.95 volts, so slightly lowered again, and at 1:45, 12.6 volts only. So this shows me that there is something happening after I park the car. It looks like the voltage of the 12 volt battery is still raising, which you can only do when it gets charged. I mean, there's another possibility that it had a big load on it, and you take the load away and the battery voltage goes up again. But clearly during driving there is no load on the 12 volt circuit, because everything comes from the from the DC-DC converter. So that was quite interesting. And a day before I did the same measurement, and the battery had 12.669 volt when I came to work. 1.5 hours later it had 12.979 volts. So this is 330 millivolts roughly more after 1.5 hours of parking. And at 12:30 it had 12.6 volts. So obviously something happens in the first couple of hours after parking with the battery. I'm just looking at the max voltage. It's still at 13.087, so it hasn't moved yet. I stuffed up the experiment. By opening the doors, I put a lot of load on the battery, and the voltage of course went down, and it never recovered to the point where it actually exceeded the 13.087 volts. It is still rising, but it's now at 13.04 volts, and it's climbing very, very slowly only. Okay, another fail. I've got another idea in the next video. Okay, thanks for watching anyways, guys. See you in the next video very soon. Wait, before you leave. What I can do is I can actually set the max amps now to this value, If we get a positive figure here, this will mean there will be power going into the battery, so there will be a charge of the battery. By setting this one on max, it will show me that. So I'll just leave it plugged in here until tonight. It is 3:45 now, and I'll leave it in there for a couple of hours and measure and see if this one actually goes into a positive figure at one stage. And maybe we've got an indication that the battery gets charged while the car is parked, which I still haven't seen. Okay, now you can go. That's just, I had everything set up, everything was working fine, and now the multimeter turns off after 30 minutes to save battery power. What am I supposed to do now? Guys, it doesn't look like I'm supposed to measure anything else anymore with the car. Everything turns against me. It is unbelievable. It is not funny anymore. I had everything set up. I could have measured the whole day tomorrow at work, and the multimeter would have told me what was going on with the battery, but now the shitty thing turns off after 30 minutes. It really turns off after 30 minutes to save battery. It's not even running on battery anymore, but it turns off. I don't know. That's all for today. Okay, see you later.